Like it or not, the metaverse is coming and it's going to create trillions of dollars of value in the cryptocurrency space. But how can you invest into the metaverse and crypto gaming to be able to capture a small slice of this value for yourself? With Facebook, followed by Microsoft, unveiling massive plans to move into and build out the metaverse, the investment opportunity has never been greater. In today's video, the Winklevoss Twins, who have a proven history of investing into innovation and tech decades before it becomes mainstream, explain the opportunity of the metaverse. Also, macro investor Raoul Pal in his latest interview also broke down why he thinks the metaverse is one of the best areas of investment and specifically which cryptocurrencies present opportunity. Because Ethereum is a layer 1 and a large majority of the metaverse and crypto gaming will be built out on Ethereum, buying ETH is one way you can capture some of the value that will be built. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where the Winklevoss Twins break down their end of year Ethereum price prediction, and I'll also cover the individual gaming and metaverse cryptocurrencies that you can specifically dial down on. Also, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free and you can always change your mind.
Quite frankly, as we move more and more closer to the metaverse, you'll want art in your online world.
I need to ask you, since you use it, if you could just please define it. What is the metaverse?
The metaverse is the recreation of the offline world in the online setting. I think a good example of the metaverse would be Fortnite, where people have signed in and they even have held concerts. In the early days, it was totally unclear whether people were actually going to move on to this platform. And we saw that with social networking. There's so much skepticism around, will people actually share their stuff online and do this? And of course, we know how that's gone. Today, data of a social network is owned by that company. And in the future, we believe it will be owned by the individual who provides that data, whether it's photos or content or whatever. They will own that content and it's theirs. And quite frankly, it is theirs rightfully. We believe that.
So there's the Winklevoss Twins on why they think the metaverse is the next massive opportunity. In the past, the twins have made huge bets on social networks and then cryptocurrency being the next area of massive innovation and growth. If they think the metaverse and crypto gaming are what's the next space to explode, I would be inclined to think they are right. But how can you invest into the space to capture some of the value for yourself? Well, Raoul Pal recently spoke on how he sees the metaverse playing out, as well as some individual cryptocurrencies that are building out this world.
I love this. This is how it should be. This is one of the greatest movements I've ever seen, if not the greatest movement. Because it's political, it's economic, it's financial, it's cultural, it's everything, all rolled into one damn thing. And the market's splitting, the guys who are interested in DAOs and what we can do with that, the social tokens, the communities, the protocols, the DeFi guys, and we'll come on to some of these more, the layer ones, the transaction people, and everybody's going, right, we're going to solve this one. And we might fail, but those guys might learn something from us and they'll take the baton. But we're all sprinting as fast as we damn well can to create this opportunity. And this asset class is unstoppable because of its distributed nature of intelligence. The network effect of that power of intelligence and the sheer number of doggedly determined people doing things is unprecedented. And again, none of us know what the metaverse is, where it's going. It's this digitally fluid world between the physical and the digital world where you can move around, live, exist, work, earn, etc. But if you conceptualize the metaverse as an end state or the start of an end state, it allows you to hold all of these thoughts in your head. A digital financial system, DeFi, a digital system of organizing and corporations, DAOs, social tokens, system of money for the communities that you're in, NFTs, digital identifiers and stores of value within the digital world, and an interoperability and transferability of that value across various digital properties. All of that becomes the metaverse. This is all this Web 3.0, the metaverse, the gigantic change. So the metaverse is not, to me, who's going to win? Tim Sweeney, Mark Zuckerberg. That's just not going to happen. Apple is in the game. Google's in the game. Apple are going to give you an ability because they own this, which is a supercomputer in your hand, they're going to have the ability that those glasses you're wearing today, Ash, will give you augmented reality. So what does augmented reality mean? Does it mean Google tells you what road to take when you're walking through Manhattan? Sure. But it also means that I can have a piece of NFT art in my living room that doesn't exist in the physical world, but does to anybody I want to show it to. I can have, it's Pokemon Go as a world where these digital and physical things coexist, and we can have different experiences. I can leave you a digital map of my house because you're coming over to Little Cayman, and I say, it's only available for you. And you stick on your glasses, you've been permissioned because you've got the token, and you look at it. So all of these things, plus what everybody's doing. I mean, I think I'm speaking to the guys who are building Wild. They're doing it on Zero. What Tim Sweeney, who's building on Unreal Engine. What people like Alexandra Fernandez is doing is creating metaverses for companies and organizations. We've got giant corporations, we've got small people, we've got crypto voxels, Decentraland. They're not going to be one or the other. It's the same way as these communities. We will be interoperable. We'll be able to move fluidly between places that better suit our needs, desires, communities, etc. There will be some giant winners from this. Gigantic trillion-dollar winners. I don't know who they are. It's hard to even bet on it. You can bet on some of this social tokens. There's like 3 or 4 companies that have platforms for that. And I've talked about those. People like Rally, Flow, I think Luxo's coming through, Chili's. NFTs you can get involved in, but it's really hard because there's so many. It's the opposite of social token platforms where there's few. NFTs, there's millions. So, you just have to kind of suck it and see. DAOs, they're still early. There's a few DAOs people are investing in, things like Friends with Benefits, super interesting. And the metaverse, how the hell do we invest in this? I don't know yet. There are some opportunities. You can buy Decentraland, Sandbox. Sandbox is a very interesting one. Lots of people buying. Snoop's got land in Sandbox. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So I think of this, the metaverse as the end state, and it allows you to hold all of these things in your head without having to be the expert. It's the macro way. Here's the probabilistic path. Because then, if not, you end up trying to argue on everything. How do DAOs work? I don't know how they're going to evolve. And that's okay. But I just do know that they're going to evolve. So that's how I'm thinking this. This is why I'm fascinated with the metaverse. Not some dystopian, utopian, how's it going to play out? Is this Ready Player One? I don't give a shit about that. There's too many people working on too many different ways. We will get our choice in how we want to live.
So there's Raoul on the magnitude of the opportunity in this space. Some individual cryptos looking to build out this space that he mentioned was Decentraland and the Sandbox, which are tokenized and investors can buy individually. An easy way to find Metaverse and gaming cryptocurrencies is to go to CoinGecko and sort by Metaverse coins, and it will list all the different coins in the space and their respective rankings. I personally won't recommend any, as I think if you are looking into the space, you should definitely check them out and do some research and see which ones you personally think are interesting or that are doing something cool. However, to give you an idea of how big the opportunity is here, the entire market cap of Metaverse and crypto gaming is just $24.3 billion, which is less than the market cap of just Shiba Inu at $27 billion. So there is definitely massive opportunity here, which is set to grow out exponentially over the next decade. In my opinion, one of the easiest and best ways to invest in this growing space is just through owning Ethereum. A good way to look at it is one of the Winklevoss Twins analogies. Ethereum is like buying land in New York, whereas the metaverse and all the application and games that will be built are the skyscrapers and buildings that are built on top of it. The Winklevoss Twins are big Ethereum bulls, and earlier in the year they revealed the price they think Ethereum will get to by the end of this year.
When a product is very sticky and has a lot of product market fit, a lot of users and momentum, something has to be 10x better for people to switch. Ethereum has a huge first mover advantage. It's on every major exchange. When people build stablecoins, like Gemini's built the Gemini Dollar, a stablecoin, you start building it on Ethereum. there's so much building that's been happening there that like that's where you want to go, because that's where eyeballs are. The thing that has to happen though is scalability and throughput. Its ability to process like many transactions cheaply. So right now, because that migration, so Ethereum 2.0 or Ethereum 2 is promises to solve this, and that migration is happening. But right now, there can be so much excitement that if things get hot or Ethereum can fall victim to the weight of its own success. So transaction prices go through the roof when there's a lot of activity and people are moving through different projects. So if it doesn't scale or make that migration successfully, which I do believe it will, then that could be a problem.
And just to build on that, Tyler, to take like the other side of Ethereum, it's sort of theirs to lose. If you look at the operating space, there are a few major operating systems around the world. You've got OS, iOS, Android, Linux, Windows. So it is not it's not just sort of one operating system. There are, network effects for sure, but we do see a couple of really big systems, at least in computing. And so it is possible that some newer layer one protocol says, hey, we're going to start at proof of stake. We're going to make a better smart contract language. It's easier to program, more secure. I think Tezos is an example of a project that launched with these things from day one. It hasn't had the same uptake, at least yet, as Ethereum. Maybe Solana's up there as well. I'm not as familiar with that project, but I think that there's going to be opportunities for other people to enter the race with potentially a 10x better project. But I think in my mind, it's a question between Ether winning all or winning a very, very big chunk of an enormous pie. I think it's in either case, it's an incredible long-term hold. The question is how incredible, what varying degree of incredible. You're right, 5,000, 5 to 10 feels like a reasonable range towards year end. And I guess if we're currently at Ethereum's maybe 50% market cap of Bitcoin, and we think Bitcoin's a 10x from here, I see no reason to believe that Ethereum isn't at least a 10x sort of lockstep.
Right.
And maybe quite frankly, a lot more, to my previous comments about how do you put a bound on this type of innovation and creativity? You really can't. So there's a psychology here. Like I remember when Bitcoin broke 50,000, it was like hovering at like 48, 49 and we're humans, right? So there's psychology. I think if Ether breaks 5,000, it just feels psychologically like a really interesting inflection point.
People like round numbers.
Yeah, people like round numbers. Then at 10,000, people's heads are going to explode.
Yeah.
So look, we love both these projects. They're incredible, and I think that they'll probably move lockstep in many ways. But right now, the focus has been on Ether. It's super hot, and you could argue that it was not there in large part because people were really focusing on Bitcoin during the early half of the pandemic and inflation, and I think that will come back and it will just sort of go between the two.
So $5,000 to $10,000 by year end, and I think that may be a little conservative, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway guys, the metaverse is undoubtedly going to be a massive area of opportunity, and it will pay to keep an eye on its development. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, have a great day.